Joining me now from Southern Florida, political consultant, lobbyist, strategist, and former Trump surrogate, Roger Stone. Roger, let's talk about post-Mueller. Because, as I noted just a few seconds ago, to most Americans, they don't care about this stuff. This is all about politics. This is all about getting the President of the United States. And if we step back and we look at the first 2+ years of the 45th President of the United States, it's really unprecedented. You date back to Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon took a lot of arrows for a lot of reasons. But no president of the United States has been under this kind of assault, this kind of partisan assault, like the 45th President of the United States has.
Well, that's why it's vitally important to solve the issue of internet censorship, which you just heard the president refer to. Richard Nixon would have survived in 1974 had there been a vibrant alternative media based in the internet, which of course didn't exist then. Back then, the mainstream media was able to dominate the political dialogue. The issue of internet censorship, where the president's supporters, Republicans, conservatives, non-liberals, anybody who doesn't agree with the conventional wisdom and their mainstream media view is censored or deplatformed, poses a great danger to the president's reelection. He's got an incredible record to run on, Graham, but he needs a platform from which to counterattack. He's the greatest counterpuncher in American politics.
And really, he faces three foes, Roger, if you boil it down, if you include the internet. That's one of the foes, but this is a cabal when I talk about the foes. It's a cabal of the internet. It's a cabal including the modern Democrat Party, which is weaponizing itself on Capitol Hill, but it also includes the mainstream media. So when Donald Trump runs against whoever it's going to be on the Democrat side, the nominee, whether it's Buttigieg or Kamala Harris or Joe Biden, he's also going to be running against this cabal.
Well, the good news, of course, is, as Napoleon said, never interrupt your enemy when they are in the process of destroying themselves. And the internecine warfare between AOC and her squad and Nancy Pelosi shows a Democratic Party in shambles.
Yep.
Working people are leaving the Democratic Party in droves. The socialists are in the ascendancy. I'd like to see them just keep on talking, Graham, but you're absolutely right. There is a cabal between the corporate-owned mainstream media and the Democratic Party, and the drumbeat of criticism and abuse of the president just continues unabated, despite the fact that the results cannot be argued about. 7 million new jobs, wage growth at the fastest pace in American history, investment, billions of investment moving back into the country. It's a modern success story, and on paper, the president should be a shoo-in for a landslide. But it won't be that easy because of the mainstream media, because of the internet censorship, and lastly, whether or not we can have an honest election, real, honest ballot integrity, in which only people who are legally qualified to vote are allowed to vote.
I want to talk about the ballot integrity and the integrity of the vote, especially vis-a-vis in Florida, the state that you're in right now, because obviously Florida is going to play a key role. But before we do, I want to go back to what they're doing in the House of Representatives and Nancy Pelosi allowing these radicals to go right up to the line of impeachment in a so-called, impeachment inquiry, which I don't see existing in the United States Constitution anywhere. It's either impeachment or it's not. So Nancy Pelosi has them running right up to the line and then backing off. But let's face it, we now have 95 radicals on the Democrat side in the House of Representatives that have voted this last time for impeachment. Do you ever see at any point Nancy Pelosi allowing the radicals to run the asylum and actually get over that line?
Well, the attempt to impeach Bill Clinton turned out to be a huge mistake that boomeranged on Republicans and I think actually hurt them in the next elections. There is no grounds that I'm aware of to impeach this president, and there's an exemplary record for him to run on. So I don't see that happening. I think the ballot integrity issue, the internet censorship issue, and the cabal, the collusion, if you will, with the mainstream media are the greatest obstacles to the president's reelection. I believe he will win, but I think it's going to be a much tougher, harder fought campaign than many people believe.
It's going to be a war. It's absolutely going to be a war, and you're a veteran of 10 presidential campaigns, and this, it seems to escalate every election cycle, but certainly this one is going to be a war, an all-out war for the future of this republic, not just for Donald Trump versus the Democrat candidate or the party Republican versus the party Democrat. This is a war for the heart and soul of America, and one of the battle zones is going to be Florida. And of course, Florida has many unique dynamics going on. It has a large Hispanic population, but it also has people who have a bi-state lifestyle, if you will. And then that opens up the door for mail-in ballots, which opens up the door for voter fraud. What is happening in Florida right now to ensure the integrity of the vote? Anything?
Well, the good news is we have elected a new Republican governor here, Ron DeSantis, who's doing a very good job and is extraordinarily popular. And he is well aware of the need for ballot integrity. He fired, or his predecessor fired, the Broward County Elections Board supervisor, put in a new supervisor to ensure that we get an honest count in the largest Democratic county in the state. There's a good beginning right there. But the governor is going to do what's necessary to ensure that the count in Florida is honest, that it's real, and that only people who are legitimately eligible to vote can vote here. I think the election of DeSantis is a key factor in the president's ability to win here. And of course, the president himself, I think, very much helped DeSantis over the finish line.
Yeah, and if we look back to the election of 2000, we know how crucial a role the governor of Florida can play in a close election result like we had in Gore versus Bush. The war is certainly going to unfold. It's unfolding right now. And as we all know, Roger, the first casualty of war is the truth. And so Trump supporters have to remember that when they look at this cabal that we keep talking about, the Democrat Party, the mainstream media, and the internet. The first casualty of war is the truth. Roger Stone, good luck and thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.